In our busy lives, we often lose ourselves in the rush of time, chasing things that seem important, but in the end, do not bring true peace. We find ourselves caught in an endless cycle of doing rather than being. But the path to fulfillment isn't found in the rush. It is found in the quiet moments of reflection and stillness. The monk smiles softly and begins to speak. There is a story I have often shared with those who come to me for guidance. It's about a young traveler who was searching for happiness. He journeyed across many lands asking wise people, "What is the secret to a fulfilled life?" Each person gave him a different answer. "You must accumulate wealth," one said. "You must conquer fear," another advised. But none of their answers gave him the peace he was looking for. Finally, the traveler met an old man who sat beneath a tree, simply watching the world pass by. The monk's face, eyes filled with calmness. The traveler asked him, "What is the secret to fulfillment?" The old man smiled and said, "Look at the tree. It does not rush to grow, nor does it hurry to give its fruit. It grows slowly, patiently, and gives freely when the time is right. Just like the tree, you must learn to live in the present moment. Fulfillment comes when you stop chasing and start being." Back to the monk sitting in stillness. This simple truth, found in nature and mirrored in our own lives, is often overlooked. In the rush of life, we are taught to seek happiness outside ourselves, to find it in possessions, titles, or accomplishments. But these things are fleeting. True happiness lies in understanding ourselves and living in harmony with the present. Over the years, I have learned that time is not something we own. It is something we experience. Each moment is a gift, but too often, we allow our minds to wander into the past or future, neglecting the beauty of the now. When I first became a monk, I had to learn to let go of my attachment to time. I used to worry constantly about what I had done wrong in the past or what I needed to do next. But as I sat in meditation, day after day, I realized that all those worries were illusions. Time does not wait for us, but it also does not need to be controlled. The secret is to surrender to it. The monk rises and walks slowly along a quiet stone path, his footsteps soft. We spend so much of our lives running, but running where? After the things that are outside of us, or perhaps running from ourselves. But when we stop and reflect, when we look inward, we begin to understand that we are already complete. The answers we seek are within us, not in the world outside. The monk meditating by a tranquil pond, the ripples reflecting his stillness. Many people ask me how I maintain peace in the midst of chaos. The truth is, peace is not something you find, it is something you create. It begins with self-awareness and self-reflection. It begins with understanding that the world around you will never be perfect, and that you must make peace with imperfection. In my younger years, I often wished for things to be different. I wanted life to be easier, to have more comfort, more certainty. But as I grew older, I realized that true growth happens when we embrace discomfort, when we learn to be at peace with what is, rather than what we wish it to be. The monk sitting by a stone table with a tea set, slowly pouring tea into a cup. In my time here, I've learned that life's greatest lesson is in learning how to be present. We are constantly distracted by the noise of the world, by technology, by endless tasks, by expectations. But in these distractions, we lose sight of what truly matters, our inner peace, our relationships, and the simple joy of giving. This is why in my practice I remind myself daily to stop, breathe, and reconnect. When we focus on the present, we find clarity. We see that the past is behind us, and the future we are not slaves to the monk's hands as he gently holds the teacup. There is another story I often reflect on. It is of a young student who came to me, eager to learn how to live a fulfilling life. He asked, "Master, what is the one thing I should focus on to find peace?" I took him to a river and handed him a stone. "Hold this stone," I said, "and walk across the river. But you must not drop the stone. Focus on the stone. Carry it with you." As he struggled across the river, I could see the burden he carried. Finally, I asked him, "How did you feel?" He replied, "The stone was heavy. I could not focus on anything else." I smiled and said, "Now release the stone. Let go of what you do not need." The student smiled and finally understood. True peace comes when we let go of unnecessary burdens, when we stop carrying things back down in front